Myself, Dr. P.K. Verma, all the students of biology, and my teacher colleagues are most welcome in this session of reproduction in flowering plants. In the last session, when I was discussing about the fertilization in flowering plants, I had promised that in the next session I will try to discuss about the fruits and seeds also. So let us begin with development of the seeds. The seeds develop from ovules present in the ovary. In a fruit, there may be one ovule or a number of ovules forming the seeds. Now, what is the seed? After fertilization, the ovules present in it form the seeds. The wall of ovule or the tegument generally forms the seed coat, testa and the tegument. Now the embryo sac develops into two major parts, the endosperm and the embryo proper. In most of the seeds, nucellus, antipodal cells and synergid cells degenerate during development, and in some cases the nucellus becomes persistent and forms the perisperm. You can see perisperm in black pepper and the coffee seeds. Now, how the endosperm develop and what are its type? Normally, the two haploid polar nuclei fuse to form a diploid secondary nucleus, and later on this secondary nucleus fuses with a male gametic nucleus or the sperm to form a triploid primary endosperm nucleus. Remember that there are two times fusion of the haploid cells. At first, the two haploid nuclei present in the center of the ovule sac or the embryo sac fuse together to form a diploid secondary nucleus, and then this secondary nucleus fuses with the male gametic nucleus to form the triploid primary endosperm nucleus. Generally, the endosperm is triploid, but as the number of polar nuclei varies in some species, the endosperm may have different sets of chromosomes. There are certain exceptions in everything. Here also you will find that in some cases the endosperms are not triploid. In the Oenothera type of embryo sac, only one polar body is present. So the endosperm becomes diploid after fertilization with sperm. But in case of Peperomia type of embryo sac, there are 8 polar nuclei, and when they fuse together, they form octaploid secondary nucleus. After fertilization, the endosperm becomes nonoploid, that is 9 sets of chromosomes. So these are two peculiar exceptions to the triploid case of endosperm. Now the cells of endosperm usually do not contain chlorophyll, but in Crinum, Mathiola, Raphanus and Viscum, chlorophyll is present in endosperm also. Endosperm is characteristic of all the angiosperms with the exception of Orchidaceae and the Podostomonaceae. Orchid plants, these are epiphytes found above the tree trunk of the mango and other trees, and Podostemon is a plant with only root without stem or any other organ. The stem, buds, leaves and flowers are formed only at the time of their sexual reproduction. In legume plants, that is the pulse and beans, the entire endosperm is consumed for the nutrition of the developing embryo. So the mature seeds are non-endospermic, and the cotyledons contain stored food materials that are used when the seed germinates. In cereals, that is rice, wheat, maize, barley, etc., coconut and castor, etc., endosperm is retained even after the maturation of seeds, provided nutrition to the embryo during germination. These are therefore endospermic seeds. Cereal and coconut are monocot plant, and in monocots mostly all of them have endospermic seeds. There are three types of endosperms: nuclear, cellular and halobial endosperm. These three types have been distinguished on the basis of their development pattern. Now see one by one. It is the first case of nuclear endosperm. In such endosperm, development of endosperm, the first few divisions are not followed by cell wall formation. That is, the nucleus continue to divide for many times, increasing the number of nuclei in the primary endosperm cell, but there is no formation of cell wall. So protoplasm contains many nuclei free in the cytoplasm. Cell walls are formed subsequently, as in Glycine max. Glycine max is the soybean plant, and the Arachis hypogaea, that is the groundnut plant. Cell walls are formed subsequently, that means after a few divisions, cell wall formation begins. They remain free indefinitely, as in Lymanthus, Douglasii, Acer pseudoplatanum and the Myricaria germanica. It is unique case in which entire life there is no formation of cell wall in the primary endosperm cell. They remain free indefinitely. That means cell wall is not there. What are the examples? Lymanthus, Acer pseudoplatanus and Myricaria germanica. Now see how the development occurs. In this diagram, you see that in the first case, there is a primary endosperm nucleus here in the center. Now the cell division starts. 2 or 3 nuclei, 4 nuclei are seen here. Division continues and many nuclei are formed. The cell walls are formed very lately after formation of so many nuclei there. As simplified diagram, you can draw this diagram. Here only the nuclei are seen in the diagram number C, and after that their nuclei arrange themselves along the periphery, and then the cell wall formation begins. Hundreds of free nuclei are found along the periphery, in the embryo sac of Primula, Malva, Mangifera, Citrus, Arachis, etc. Primula is a flowering plant, garden plant. Malva, it is again a garden plant. But Mangifera, mangoes, belong to this Mangifera genus. Citrus or the lemon and orange belong to citrus family, and Arachis is the groundnut, indicating that the cell wall formation takes place at a very late stage. So for a long period they are endospermic. On the other hand, in Calotropis, Rafflesia and Geranthemum, wall formation takes place at 8 or 16 nuclei stage, that is much earlier. In still other cases such as Lopegia, Stenosyphon, Tropilum and Cardiospermum, wall formation does not take place and the nuclei remain free throughout. So there are much variation in the nuclear endosperm. In some cases, the cell division starts much earlier, cell wall forms after 2 or 3 divisions. In others, lately, and in some cases, not at all. In most of the species, after a few divisions of primary endosperm nucleus, a peripheral layers of cells is formed along the wall of embryo sac. So it is most common case when after only a few divisions, cell wall formation begins along periphery. These cells divide periclinal until the whole embryo sac is filled with the cells of endosperm. In Bacconia, Euphorbia and some cucurbits, a primary layer of cells is formed. Only a few divisions of the primary endosperm nucleus. These cells extend centripetally until they meet in the middle of the embryo sac, and then each cell divides transversely into number of small cells. So what actually I want to say that in the beginning there is division centripetal. So the number of cells increase inward, and when all the cells meet in the middle, then the transverse division takes place and the embryo sac becomes full of the endosperm cells. Now the second type is cellular endosperm, in which cell wall formation begins just after the first division. In development of such endosperm, there is no nuclear phase, as the wall formation begins right with the first division of the primary endosperm nucleus. The wall is laid down after the first division of PEN, and it is usually transverse, dividing the embryo sac into micropylar and the chalazal chamber. That is, in the beginning, when there were 2 nuclei only, cell wall was formed and 2 cells, one was towards the micropyle and another towards chalaza, were formed. But occasionally the wall laid down after the first nuclear division may be oblique or vertical. Now see the development pattern. In the center there is the primary endosperm nucleus. It divides into 2 nuclei. Now an oblique cell wall is formed, dividing the cell into 2 parts. The upper is 2-celled endosperm stage, forming the micropylar part. In upside you see there are eggs and egg apparatus. So upper part is micropylar and the lower part is the chalazal part. In this part you see there are antipodal cells. It is an easy diagram showing formation of cell walls continuously, though it is not perfect as it was shown earlier in the previous slide. It is the perfect diagram of cellular endosperm adopted by many of the embryologists such as Bhojwani and Bhastagar and the P. Maheshwari, but it is a very simplified diagram for the beginner students only. In Eudoxa, Citranthus and some members of family Dipsaceae, the orientation of the wall formed after the first nuclear division is vertical. In place of transverse, in Eudoxa and Citranthus, the division is vertical. The second wall also is vertical. So there are 4 laterally placed cells, but at the right angle to first division. Subsequently, wall formation is restricted to the micropylar end only. What I want to say, that there are vertical divisions first and second. After formation of the 4 cells from the primary endosperm nucleus, there is a transverse division. After that, division continues in the micropylar region only. Thus, it is intermediate type between nuclear and cellular endosperm. In Scutellaria and Verbasicum, the orientation of the first wall is transverse and one or both the daughter cells divide vertically. In Ericaceae and Enonaceae family, the first division is transverse and one or both daughter cells divide transversely. So you have not to bother every type of the division in different seeds, different plants, but you must remember that in the cellular endosperm, cell division begins in the very early time when only 2 nuclei are there. In myocystis, the orientation of first cell is oblique and 2 cells thus formed may be of equal or unequal size. In Senecio and Gineria, however, orientation of cell is indefinite. So there are much variation in the division pattern in cellular endosperm. Now come to the last one, it is halovial endosperm. It is intermediate between the nuclear and cellular type. In this type of endosperm, the primary endosperm nucleus migrates to the chalazal end of the embryo sac, and after the first nuclear division, the wall formation results into large micropylar and a small chalazal endosperm chamber. So again there are 2 chambers. One is large micropylar and another is a small chalazal. Now, in the next divisions what happens? Further nuclear divisions are confined to micropylar chamber. That is, after first division, one cell is towards micropyle and nuclear division occurs in this micropylar chamber, while the nucleus of the chalazal chamber remains undivided or may undergo only a few divisions. So endosperm does not develop towards chalazal, it develops towards the micropyle. In micropylar chamber, regular wall formation takes place and it becomes multicellular. But there is no wall formation in the chalazal chamber, and at maturity it contains one or more disorganized nuclei. Now see the diagram. The primary endosperm nucleus divides into 2. One is formed chalazal chamber, another is micropylar chamber by formation of this cell wall. Now, towards the micropylar chamber, nuclei divides many times, and later on the endosperm develops towards this chalazal chamber. Now you can see difference in the development pattern of the three types of endosperm. The first one is nuclear endosperm. All the nuclei are freely available in the embryo sac. Second is cellular endosperm. All the cells are formed and completely fill the embryo sac. And in third, lower part is filled with the cells, but in upper part only nuclei are there. So it is intermediate between the nuclear and cellular endosperm. From the surface of endosperm, finger-like structures known as haustoria develop. These endosperm haustoria are the cells, are the organs for absorption of food from the various parts of fruit. Similar haustoria are formed in the developing embryo also that absorb the food from endosperm. These haustoria absorb nutrient materials from the surrounding cell of embryo sac, that is nucellus, and supply them to the developing embryo. In the three types of endosperm, the haustoria develop differently. It may appear from any side. Now come to the development of embryo. The fertilized eggs or the zygote is the mother cell of sporophytic or diploid generation. That is, after fertilization of ovum, a diploid zygote is formed and it is the beginning of the diploid generation or the sporophyte. It forms an embryo by a predetermined pattern of division in different families of monocot and dicot. The process of development of embryo is called embryogenesis. It is very surprising that there is no uniform criteria for the development of embryo in the monocot and dicot. After fertilization, the zygote undergoes a period of rest, that is a pause period, a period of low metabolic rate, in which possibly the genetic programming is reorganized. But the primary endosperm nucleus starts division within an hour. So the zygote develops lately, zygote start division lately, and endosperm start division earlier. The resting period of zygote varies considerably from a few hours, 4 to 5 hours in Asteraceae and Poaceae, to a few months, that is 3 to 4 months in Colchicum autumnale. In general, the resting period is long in plants in which nuclear endosperm is present, and it is shorter in which cellular endosperm is present. So the nuclear endosperms in which so many nuclei are there, cell wall formation and development begins earlier, and in the cellular endosperm where cells are already formed, development becomes shorter, that is, the embryo start developing earlier. In the zygote, the large vacuole present at the micropylar end of the egg gradually disappears and the cytoplasm around nucleus becomes densely homogeneous. Thus the size of zygote is reduced to 1/2 of that of the egg. It elongates along the axis of embryo sac. It is a very peculiar type of development pattern. At first, a large vacuole is present at the micropylar end. But it gradually disappears and cytoplasm around nucleus becomes dense. So the volume of the cell shrinks Therefore, the zygote is reduced to one half of the egg. Now it elongates along the axis of embryo. In most of the angiosperms, the first division is transverse, forming a smaller apical cell Ca and a larger basal cell or Cb. The apical cell projects into the embryo sac, whereas the basal cell lies near the micropyle. From this two-cell stage, differentiation of organs of embryo, that is cotyledon, plumule and radicle takes place, and it is now called proembryo. So proembryo is an elongated structure with an apical cell towards the embryo sac and basal cell near the micropyle. In most of the dicotyledonous plants, the apical cell of early proembryo divides longitudinally or transversely, and the basal cell may remain undivided or may divide transversely. Now, two scientists, Snarf in 1929 and Johansen in 1945, studied the flowering plants at large scales and found marked differences in the pattern of these cells, that is the basal cell and the apical cell, in different plant species. And on this basis, they could differentiate 5 types of embryo development in dicotyledonous plants. These are the 5 types: crucifer type, sterard type, solenard type, caryophyllid type and chenopodial type. That is, in the crucifery family, the first type is found, Asteraceae family, second type is found, Solanaceae family, third type is found, Caryophyllaceae family, fourth type is found, and chenopodial type, that is Chenopodium, the fifth type is found. All other flowering plants have either one of the pattern given here. Now, in the first case, the apical cell Ca of the two-cell proembryo divide by a longitudinal wall and form crucifer or onagrade type. The basal cell Cb plays no role or only minor role in development of embryo. Examples: Anonaceae, Onagraceae, Brassicaceae, Scrophulariaceae and Ranunculaceae, etc. Second type is sterard type. The apical as well as basal cells contribute to the development of embryo. In earlier case, basal cell did not contribute, but in this case, both basal and the apical cells contribute in development of embryo. Such cases are found in Asteraceae, Balsaminaceae, Vitaceae and Violaceae families. Now in the second type, the apical cell Ca of the two-celled pre-embryo divide by a transverse wall. 3 types are there. In solenide type, the basal cell usually form 2 or more celled suspension. Examples are Solanaceae, Campanulaceae, Thiaceae and Linaceae. Second one is caryophyllid type. The basal cell undergoes no further division and the suspension is present. Families are Crassulaceae, Caryophyllaceae and Fumariaceae. And the last one is the chenopodial type. Both the basal and apical cells contribute to development of embryo. Examples are family Chenopodiaceae and the Boraginaceae. So for a student of plus 2 level or even the honors level, I would not suggest to remember all these 5 types. They just have to say that the zygote will develop into embryo and the primary endosperm nucleus will form the endosperm itself. The endosperms are usually triploid, but the embryo is diploid. There are 3 types of endosperm, but in the flowering plant, monocot and dicot plants have different patterns, and within the dicot plant itself, there are as many as 5 patterns in development of the embryo. So see how the development occurs. The upper cell, here upper cell is CB, that is basal cell, and lower is the CA, apical cell. After division, CA forms 2 cells. Upper cell forms row of 2 cells. After that, the basal cell continue to divide and form the suspension. Now the cotyledons are formed in lower half. You see it is a dicotyledonous plant, and therefore the cotyledons bifurcate to form 2 embryonic leaves. In the middle part there is embryonic axis. In just a brief way, I can say that you have now a good idea of development of seed, in which 2 major parts are there, cotyledons and embryo, and these 2 are covered entirely with the testa or tegumen, that is the wall of the ovule. After maturation, the entire seed may or may not undergo a stage of dormancy. So in the next session, we shall study how the fruits are classified and what are their property. Thank you very much. See you again.